What's going on, America? Sean here with TruthFed.com. And as you can see, top article at TruthFed today, broke America. Half the population's on government benefits, and 70 million would starve in the streets without it. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, we keep hearing from this, about this grand recovery that America is having from our mainstream media. However, many of us, if you're like me, would love to know where this recovery is exactly. I mean, we have declining wages, we have massive job losses around the country, but the media wants to say, hey, things are doing great. Didn't you just see the Dow reach 17,000? Didn't you just see the unemployment rate fell to 6.1? But here's what they fail to mention, and I did this in an article earlier this week. The job unemployment rate fell to 6.1%, but here's what they're not mentioning. That's because there's a record number, 92,120,000 Americans to be exact, that are not only not in the labor force, but they have just completely given up looking for work. And let's also not discount the fact that most of the jobs being created that they're so excited about are part-time jobs. As you can see here, according to this graph, and this is a report from Zero Hedge, June fall time jobs plunged by over 500,000. Part-time jobs soar by 100,000, most since 1993. So congratulations, we're creating a bunch of part-time jobs, and I wonder why that is. I wonder what they're trying to avoid, these companies, by just creating part-time jobs. Can you say Obamacare? Can you say that regulations and taxations are killing business? But the media is going to tell you, hey, things are great. Didn't you see all the jobs that were created? But of course, they're going to fail to mention that the majority of them were part-time. They're going to fail to mention that the unemployment rate fell because there's literally over 92 million Americans working age not in the workforce. And we got a new report today. And this information comes from shtfplan.com, and that's that shock report, 70 million people would be starving in the streets without government welfare programs. I like that picture there. The American dream is over, and it really, really is coming to an end. Home sales have dropped to record lows, more people out of the workforce than any time in the last 50 years. Cash-strapped consumers have run out of money to fuel the economic growth. That's over, and then we go on to see here, according to the HHS, nearly half of all Americans are now dependent on some form of government benefit just to put food on the table. And of our population of 310 million, nearly 1 in 4 receive welfare benefits. That's over 70 million people who, if the government's safety nets broke down due to lack of funding or monetary crisis, would be starving in the streets right now. And let's also not forget that this number is about to get a lot larger, because I don't know if you've noticed, but we just recently opened our borders wide open and let, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants pour into the country who are going to need some form of assistance. And the reality is that we're running out of money, folks. The system is designed to collapse. And yes, I do mean designed. You wouldn't be implementing these types of policies. You wouldn't be regulating and taxing businesses out of the country, forcing them to move. You wouldn't be opening up our borders and just allowing illegals to pour in unless it was your intent to bring this thing down, and that is what I believe. That's my report for today, folks. Don't let the mainstream media fool you. You're living in the real world. You know that it's hard to find a job. You know that it's hard to find a job that's not part-time, that actually pays well enough to pay for the rising costs in goods and services and food and basic needs. So you live it. You already know. But don't be fooled by the mainstream media and their propaganda. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Sean with TruthFed.com. As always, doing my best to feed you the truth. Peace.